Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 79. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super glad to have you on my YouTube channel. As you know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, what trades did me and my community take, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming week. So I'm sure you would agree that this week was extremely choppy, especially on the major pairs, and mostly the Aussies made a move which was during Asian session, so I couldn't capitalize on this one. So basically right now I'm just trading around 3 to 4 pairs, refining my strategy and adding some new things, working on some pretty nice stuff, and I'm completely focused on just 4 pairs. And when those 4 pairs are not developing, it is pretty hard to catch a trade, and currently the market conditions are perfect for like really intraday traders and scalpers, because usually I trade continuation trading, so I need a nice trend that creates lower highs, higher lows in order to take a trade from. But right now you actually don't have this. It's just up, down, up, down, up, down, and you just have to take it from support to resistance, from resistance to support, and it's pretty difficult to actually catch a nice trade. So again, I only took a few trades on GU this week and one on EU, but they were like very scalps on the 5 minute, and even I dropped even lower to the 3 and the 1 minute, and I'm not gonna go deep in them because it's gonna take too much time to find the setup, but I'm gonna show you as much as I can and provide you as much value as possible. So again, if you're new to the channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday. I will be sharing more educational content, guys. I haven't shared a lot in a long time, but again, as always, stay tuned. And I'm even thinking of dropping some psychological ones as well, so make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell in order not to miss those videos when they are out. And if you already did it, let's see what do we have for this week. Alright, as always, starting from the DXY, the US dollar currency index, to have a look what happened this week. But immediately what you can see is that we have a very little candle right here in the weekly time frame telling us that the volume of this week was super low, and indeed the dollar did not move too much. Again, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see that right now we are stepping into a very strong supply and demand area. However, I think because if you go on the daily time frame and try to refine those kind of levels right here, there is one level around 89,800. So I think the market has a little bit more space to the downside before providing us with a nice reversal. But then, as you can see, guys, dropping to the daily time frame, 5 days of price action, it is this. So you try to trade within that range, and I really think like there was nothing much to be traded this week. Then dropping to the hourly time frame, you can see like, do we have a clear direction? Not really. So the market first created that little double bottom, then it looked like it wanted to push up, but still the trend was down. We tapped into the supply area right here. We strongly rejected to the downside. Then we started to consolidate. We pushed up, we failed to break above. So I had that level, even if we potentially go and hunt above or even break it for longs. But then the market created this little double top right here, flush to the downside, looks like shorts, but this was already Friday, and we didn't have nothing at all. So again, guys, so when you open this chart, what is this market doing? It is just consolidating, it is accumulating. So potentially we can expect either another leg to the downside or a reversal, because you see we are maybe at the bottom of a downtrend, and when the market gets at the bottom, it starts to accumulate. It starts to distribute or accumulate, and right now we can actually expect some sort of a reversal. But again, zooming in, what do we have? We have our major resistance level, which is right here. So the market reacted from that level, and then we had a little bit of a break of structure right here, which looks like a lower low. But again, guys, I want you to be mindful that this is your major structure right here, and everything in between is just like intraday price action. And if you drop on the hourly time frame, well, so yeah, you have that break, you have that pullback. So this is your lower high, so you can take it lower. So those are the kind of trades that we currently have. But my expectations for the DXY are no. So I don't know what to expect. As I told you, I still think that we have a little bit more space to the downside, but I am just waiting for something to happen. Either a strong break above, the market staying above, pulling back and then continuing to the upside, or the market continuing lower, staying a little bit lower, retracing and then continuing to the downside. So again, let's see what Monday has for us. If it's another choppy week, then I'm not gonna trade. And keep in mind that we're approaching the holiday season. It's already December, so the market is always like this. So again, lower your risk and don't go too hard in the markets. Euro USD weekly time frame, same story here. We had two very bullish weeks, and then right now we have a little indecision candle looking like it's creating the top, and potentially we can see a nice evening star next week, but we never know. Again, just zooming out a little bit, I still think that the market has a little bit more space to push to the upside, like around 22,500. So this is not a lot of pips to the upside. I think it's 150 pips, so we can definitely push a little bit more to the upside before reversing down. And as I told you, the DXY has a little bit more space to the downside, so probably we can see another leg to the upside. Then dropping to the daily time frame. So I was expecting a bigger pullback, guys, and if this market is going to pull back, it's going to pull back at that level right here, this last bearish candle before the huge move up. This is a very strong liquidity spot, exactly sitting at 1.20. So if the market is going to pull back, it's going to tap into that area and then possibly rage towards 1.22500. So as you can see, where the week starts, 7th, indecision, a little bit of a flush to the downside before a flush to the upside. Then a strong bullish engulfing candle. This was actually the interest rate decision. And then Friday actually close to where the market opened. So super hard to trade. And dropping to the 4-hourly time frame. So the only opportunity actually was a pretty nice manipulation trade that tapped exactly into right here, the origin of this huge move to the upside. The market tapped and there was a long trade right here. And if you drop to the 15-minute time frame, let me just show you right here, and even to the lower time frames, you can see the double bottom right here, you can see the break, you can see the retest right here as well of the EMA, and then the market just keeps trending up. And then you actually have entries in and around those areas, these areas as well. But the only textbook trade for this week was actually taken from right here. I did not take this one, a member of the community took it. You can see a nice uptrend, the market creating a higher low, failing to make a higher high, breaking below, retesting back into EMA and into structure. You enter right here, stop loss is right here above the structure, and then we either ride it to the 27 or to the 62. In this occasion, both levels got fulfilled and the market actually tapped into that area and reversed. So if you're targeting that area, you could have nailed a nice 5.6, but I didn't. So I'm just showing you what a perfect opportunity looks like, because we had actually this trade in the group. So actually, to get back to the point, what do I expect on EU? So as you can see, we are definitely stuck in the range. We have those highs right here being created and that haven't been broken. So potentially I would really love to see a run to the downside into that area, because this area has to be retested. This is a super strong area that hasn't been retested yet. So the market will act like this level is acting like a magnet to the market. And if the market starts to flush to the downside to possibly break below this low, which is our current major low, then we definitely have some space to this level and then we can take it higher. But again, very similar to the DXY, guys, this is a consolidation and we don't know what's going to happen. We can have a push, retrace and into that area, or we can have a break, retest and into this area. So I'm super careful, just waiting for the market to open, just waiting to see what kind of structure is going to be created. And as always, guys, flow with the market. Don't just marry a setup, don't marry a direction, because right now I can say that it's going short, but on Monday the market might open long, so we have to change. All right, so on Euro USD, again, nothing very clear to drop right here, only this level 1.20 and then potentially the highest point, which would be 22,500. So let's see how the market opens and stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis. Euro JPY weekly time frame, guess what? We have the same little indecision candle, a little bit more bearish than EU, but let's see what did we have this week. So again, we have two very strong candles. The market is bound to pull back, and there is actually again a beautiful daily level, exactly this indecision candle before the huge move up. So possibly the market can actually, if you just draw the candle like this is a very high probability area for a pullback. Okay, but I'm not gonna keep this because it's gonna look too big on the 4-hourly time frame. But again, as you can see, 5 days, 7th, a little bit bearish, indecision, spikes, bullish, strong bullish candle. And I want to take your attention to something. Have a look at the weekly high. Yeah, this was the previous week's high. Actually, the market manipulated above this one, and then we had the strong move to the downside. So which makes me believe that the market might be ready to actually reverse to the downside and come and tap into those daily levels. So keep in mind that daily big indecision candle, and if I just drop a line because this is the wick, then this is a potential area that the market can pull back into, and even a little bit lower right here. So as you can see, 4-hourly time frame, super unclear. Like this looked like a lower low a little bit, then we started to chop, bullish, bearish again, fake below the lows. So as you can see, those are your lows. The market faked below, ran into the highs, faked above the highs, and right now it's running to take out the lows again. There were some little setups right here on the hourly time frame. As you can see, push, pullback, so you can take a short, push, pullback, you can take a short. Like the market just told us that it tapped above the weekly level and it started to create lower highs. So definitely if you drop to the 15-minute time frame, but indeed, like the market just tapped, reversed, tapped, reversed, tapped, and reversed. So I think we just had a trade right here taken by the community, which was on the 5-minute, because the market is currently not creating our textbook 2.0 setups. And you definitely have to adapt and drop a time frame lower. So getting back to the analysis, guys, like this is your low, your major low that the market perfectly tapped. So if we have a break and a close below, then this will expose definitely some downside and tap us into this level. So let's see how EU is gonna open, because EU will drive EJ as well, because they are correlated. What can happen as well is the market can create a little bit of a pullback to the upside to create a potential lower high formation and then drop to the downside. So again, guys, don't rush to trade on Monday. Let the market open, let it show you where it wants to go. I will update you on Tuesday potentially what happened, and then we can update our expectations. But again, EJ, just keep in mind that we're trading in a consolidation, anything can happen, but overall looking for this level to the downside for a pullback and potentially then a continuation to the upside. Euro Aussie weekly time frame, as you can see right here, because we had that massive push to the upside on Aussie USD, Euro Aussie resulted in a nice flush to the downside after actually breaking structure on the weekly time frame. And as you can see, the last broken structure is right here. We had a perfect retest and an EMA tap, so this was actually a very nice weekly confluence to be taking shorts. Where is it going right now? So of course the market will always seek the low. So this is our first low, and then possibly it can go as lower as this low right here, because this is where the liquidity lies, and it possibly is seeking to go below those levels. So then dropping to the daily time frame, of course we're currently breaking a lot of structure right here, and we can definitely have a little bit of a rebound. But as you can see, this opened right here, 7th, huge wick, and then all of a sudden on Wednesday we had a massive drop that introduced the bearish pressure, and then we had that little pullback. So this little wick right here, this little pullback is your short opportunity, and then we flush to the downside. And then if I drop to the 4-hourly time frame, this little pullback was actually those two wicks, and it wasn't pretty clear, but it was clear enough to actually get a trade, because as you can see on the hourly time frame, we had this nice flush to the downside. We had a pullback, pull away from the level, coming back up for a little fake, and then we started to introduce the bearish pressure, and then actually we had this little setup after the break and retest, where I believe we had our member sentry. Yes, exactly. So as you can see right here, double top, but if you didn't get an entry right here, the market pushes lower. Then we had that little pullback, and then we have that little structure right here that was broken. And if you go to the 5-minute time frame, you will see a very little retest. Like it was just one candle, but it is enough to kind of tap you into the trade and then the reverse. So this was rather risky and rather quick, because then you have to take your profit like this on the 5-minute, and it was hit pretty quickly, and then it continued for a massive trade to the downside. But again, we are working on a like holding strategy. I'm currently working on it to try to hold my trades, because the R&R is huge. So again, getting back to the analysis, what we can expect on this market, currently super to the downside. The structure is not really clear. Like the last wicks that I see that have been created are around that area. So this is your lower high formation. I don't want to zoom out on the left, because there is currently nothing. The market is breaking the lows, so anything can happen on that market. It looks a little bit extended overall, so we can have definitely some longs incoming. So if you see any break of structure to the upside and a clear close above that area and a potential retest back, we can definitely start looking for longs. But again, currently the market is short, so until we see that shift, we should not be taking any longs. And currently any pullback around those areas right here can definitely be a short, but if we start to close above, then be careful. And again, as you can see, guys, even though we have a massive flush to the downside, the structure is not clear. We just have a massive flush down and rather choppy market. And if you go to the hourly time frame, have a look what you are currently trading into, this sort of range. So currently the market is extremely choppy. It's not nice to be traded. It doesn't make me feel nice to be analyzing the market every single morning. So I'm actually having a little bit of a break. So yep, this is Euro Aussie. Let's see how Monday opens, and then we're gonna adapt. Let's have a look at the Aussies, which were the movers for this week. As you can see, we created a nice wick to the downside at the beginning of the week, and then we created a massive bullish engulfing candle to the upside. So pretty nice move. Unfortunately, some of the setups were during Asian session. So the last 5 days, as you can see, we open up right here with a huge wick. So this really shook the market. We had a move up, we had a huge move down, and then we closed where we opened. Then on Tuesday, again, we had a little bit of a consolidation. But as you can see, overall, this was retesting the previous structure. It was testing this level right here, which was a pretty nice supply and demand area. And then we had an explosion the next 2 days. And as you can see right here, so I was actually looking for this trade. I had a trade right here that I wanted to take, but I wasn't triggered. Actually, I had a trade on EU, which missed by 1 pip, and it resulted in a 1 to 10 R&R. And then this one I didn't take, because if I go right now to the 1 minute, you will see the trade, but I'm not gonna do this. Make sure to examine this little spot, because this was a beautiful London manipulation. Then the market spiked up, consolidated, and what happened later, which is the trade that I didn't take, is the market broke structure to the upside and pulled back right here to perfection. So those are the setups that I want to see. But guess the time, 7 o'clock, 23 o'clock. This is already like Asian session. I am sleeping by that time, and the opportunity was developed just right here for a nice long, and it resulted into a massive push to the upside. During London, when I was trading, there was that little pullback, but there was not enough confidence for me to enter. Like, yes, there actually was, but it was like a very brief pullback, and I had to go to the 5 minute. As you can see, to see the double bottom, to see the break and the retest, but it wasn't looking too good to me, and I didn't take it, and I regret it. But the real opportunity was actually right here. And then we continued to pump to the upside. We had a little bit of spikes during Asia, and actually this is Aussie. This is Aussie. One up beautiful opportunity, two beautiful opportunities right here. And then we had that little pullback with a final push to the upside, and then we ended up consolidating on Friday. So yeah, pretty nice week on Aussie again, but I was unlucky with the timing right here. So right now you can see that it's pretty clear that the higher low is right here, which is pretty far away. And right now the market is actually trying to create another one. So I'm not gonna take this one as the major one, because the market can create a big downtrend before reaching this area. And I always like to look at the most recent price action. There is a level that can be retested right here, something like this. And on the hourly time frame, we can have an early break of the structure, retest, tap into that area, and then we can potentially have a reversal. But again, super uptrend on this one. It can definitely find support from this area, not even break below, and then start to expand to the upside. So if I drop to the hourly time frame to search for some sort of levels, actually the market was pretty pretty efficient. It pushed to the upside, pulled back, another push into the highs, filled that gap right here, consolidating right now. So definitely I'm looking forward to see what Monday has for us. Knowing what Monday might do, it might introduce a strong bearish push to the downside, then it might create a little bit of a consolidation, and then we might start pumping up. Okay, so keep in mind the bias is up, so be careful with shorts. Wait for a little bit of a pullback right here for a higher low, and then we can take it higher. And then looking at AJ, exactly the same. This one shook the market on Monday, right here, push down, push back up, consolidated, beautiful break above, beautiful retest during Asian session, and then we started to pump to the upside, and then dropping to the hourly time frame. As you can see, the opportunity is right here, double bottom, even with the fake slowdown, you get your entry right here. Then we push into the highs, little bit of a pullback. This is by the time that I was trading, but again, I didn't take those trades, and then the market continued to push to the upside. And right now it's rather like choppy, because it met the weekly high and it's currently withdrawing to the downside. So again, potential retest area can be this one, which was actually already retested right here with this wick. And right now the market is pulling back, looking like it tries to create a higher low formation. We already have a little bit of a wick, so let's see how the market is going to react to those areas. We can potentially have a little bit of a pullback into market open, and if it really consolidates right here, and if it really fails to break below that area, we can throw a little wick. But if it closes above, then I'm going to be monitoring how the market will respond to that area, if we're going to create some structure, and if I'm going to have my 15-minute entries right here. So again, guys, the Aussies are bullish so far, so I don't want to call any shorts. We can definitely react from those areas. A higher low can be created, and then we can start to explode to the upside. And having a look at the NZDs, which were up movers as well, but the price action was more complicated than AU, which made AU the best pair for the week. Actually, as you can see, we have a bullish week right here. So where is this market seeking to go? So I see these sort of areas. So the first level that I will be targeting is 72. and then potentially we can push into 72,500 before showing some signs of a real reversal, because this is a pretty strong cluster right here. The market was accumulating and then we sold off massively, and this level hasn't been retested yet, so we're probably seeking right now to tap into those areas. The market failed to close above 71 for 2 weeks already, so it kind of shows us that it's starting to struggle a little bit. Then dropping to the daily time frame, you can see the market opened with again huge wicks, manipulation right here, strong move up, strong move down, and then a strong bullish engulfing candle to take out the previous weekly high. And right now we are kind of consolidating, so pretty hard to figure out what's going on. And then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, just when you open your chart like this in the morning, I am personally confused, because you can see up, down, breaking above, breaking back below, breaking back above. So are you bullish, are you bearish? You can't figure that out. But currently, like, the market looks bullish to me, so I'm gonna be honest. There is a little level that I want to see tapped first before reversing this little wick right here, which hasn't been retested. We dropped lower and we hit a supply and demand area right here. Then we exploded to the upside and we broke structure. We didn't close above the previous weekly high, but right now we have a new weekly high, so we can possibly target the market above. And then dropping to the hourly time frame. So what I want to show you right here is this Friday consolidation. So this Friday consolidation is accumulation for something to happen. And what Monday might do is it might punch into those levels right here, this wick, or even those little candles right here, and then start to reverse. So this is a perfect manipulation setup for Monday or Tuesday. So let's have a look how it's gonna develop. I am long biased on NZD/USD, but first of all, I need to see a clear higher low being created. Like, it could be this one right here, but before a move up, I really think the market will manipulate to the downside, because have a look at the behavior. Like, before moving, it spikes to the downside, spikes up, spikes to the upside, spikes down, and then starts to push up. So it's the current market conditions are really manipulative, so be very careful, guys, and let's see how this one is gonna play out right here. But overall, having a long bias and just simply looking for a higher low formation. And having a look at NJ as well. Weekly time frame, pretty bullish candle which failed to actually reach the previous weekly high. Daily time frame, again, indecision, huge spike right here on the 9th of December, really ridiculous. We started with a huge move and then we closed extremely bearish, and then the next day explodes to the upside. Like, super strange price action. What happened right here is I keep telling you that the market loves to break lows. We broke below the low and we expanded very strongly to the upside. And again, a target to be reached is this high, which hasn't been tapped, so probably this is gonna be this week's target. As for levels for a retest, the market can definitely go into the low right here, but this is too far away. So this is a very strong supply and demand candle right here. Then as you can see right now, we are creating a little bit of a downtrend. So this was like AU, I believe, or AJ, that started to create lower highs, and you can definitely trade those setups. But right now, again, I am just looking for a higher low to form. Is it going to be this one? I don't know. So I'm just gonna wait for Monday to open to see if the market is gonna get in here, create support, and then expand to the upside. If it starts to break, then this will be the area that I will be targeting. And if it starts to support right here to create my 15-minute patterns, then I'm gonna be looking for longs from that area. But I think this area is a high probability level for a pullback, and then potentially we can start pushing to the upside. Right now, the hourly time frame is perfectly bullish, so bearish. So if you want to take buys, then make sure the structure changes first before going for it, and then start taking longs. All right, so those are the NZDs, guys. Both pairs are bullish, so all we have to wait for is for a higher low to be created. When and where is it going to be created, we don't know, and this is why we need a trading plan to actually say, okay, this is my higher low, it's time to take a trade. Okay, so be careful. Let's have a look at some USD, starting from UJ. Again, ridiculous pairs this week. You can see 3 weeks of wicks of indecision candles, and this one is another little candle right here. So absolutely nothing to be done on this market. As you can see, we are just consolidating. So I was expecting a push up after tapping this candle, and it seems like the market is failing to break below, but it seems like it's not having the strength to break above. So currently the liquidity lies below this level, so we can possibly punch below that level and then reverse, but who knows? So that is a little thing that I will be looking for. But then dropping to the 4-hourly time frame, where the market opens right here, consolidation, we kind of try to make our way up. We make our way up, then we start to reverse, we pull back, a little bit of a short right here, but this was already Friday. So absolutely, like, have a look, guys. If any of you can trade this one, like, good job. You can drop to the 5-minute and find some setups, but this is a low probability structure to be traded. So again, I keep reminding you, be careful. Currently the market is heavily manipulated right now. It's not moving at all. It's December as well, like holiday period. Probably people are taking vacations or this sort of stuff. Like, we still have this week to trade, but after next week, definitely step aside from the charts. And actually right now, how can I break down UJ for you? Like, we have this major high right here and we have this major low. So before the market reversing, it's probably break this high, which is what I expect, this low, sorry, and then reverse to the upside. Currently the market is in the middle, which is a not high probability place and price to be buying. So I'm waiting for this level to get broken, double bottom formation, then into the high. Possibly this can be a setup, but looking for from a structural point of view, like if you really zoom in, like we created this uptrend, then the uptrend was broken. We had the last structure, which is a higher low, which was broken right here. So currently this market is bearish. We're creating a few wicks right here. So then dropping to the hourly time frame, we can see that there was this little structure. We had the last bullish candle before the move, which is a supply and demand candle, and currently we're tapping into it. So definitely it looks like a short setup. If I really have to force, if I really want to force a setup, you can always do this. But again, looking at the higher time frame analysis, it's not looking too good. So we can expect some shorter term sales into this region, and be careful. Don't try to buy immediately because it's gonna fake potentially. And if I see some consolidation right here, some accumulation in order to push the market up, then I'm gonna change my bias to buys and we'll try to take it back up. So this is UJ currently trading within a consolidation. So again, be careful. UCAD, exactly the same, a whole week of consolidation. Then we had a little bit of a push to the downside, but as you can see, the market actually pulled back and closed where it opens. I was looking for a little bit more of a pullback into the weekly open, but Jenny just created a little wick to the upside, tries to push down, but actually doesn't succeed too much. It was just one day of bearishness and then we actually pulled back. And as you can see, Monday consolidation, Tuesday, Wednesday consolidation, and on Thursday we had a little bit of a push, but absolutely nothing. And the whole weekly price action was this. So you don't want to be trading in that consolidation, because I was actually expecting a little bit of a push to the upside first. The market didn't push up, just consolidated and pushed to the downside, and right now it's looking like a retest. So all the people right now, guys, will be looking for a break and retest of that area, potentially for the market to go down. But this can perfectly be the low, like not the weekly low, but possibly even the monthly low, and then the market can potentially start to pump up. So I'm gonna be very careful with shorts, because just have a look at the weekly time frame. Like, it's super low. It's super low and it needs a pullback, like at least one bullish candle to the upside. So it can actually, this week can be this case. So again, be careful with taking shorts. There could be a shorter term short opportunity right here, potentially for the market to push down to gather liquidity in order to push back up. So again, be careful. So I'm calling this little candle right here, oops, something like this. So be careful if the market pulls back into this little region right here, which is a nice level on the hourly time frame. So as you can see, even from the bottom, the market is starting to change a little bit. So this is your first signs of the market starting to shift. Then if the market pulls back around that area, you can definitely have a reaction and a reversal. So this is what I'm currently calling, because I think the market is pretty low to be continuing to push down, and this can just be a little bit of a fake to get all the people thinking that we are going short. And right now, if we pull back right here, if we find support, then I'm definitely gonna actually go on the long side rather than try to take it short. So let's see, this is just a forecast from my side. I'm gonna wait to see how Monday is gonna open, how Tuesday is gonna develop, because I think what I'm lacking on this weekly time frame is a bullish candle. I'm lacking a pullback, but again, as you can see right here, this looks like the low. The market continues, this looks like the low. It continues, so it can continue pushing to the downside. So again, never exclude the possibilities of this market reversing. So again, if you think this is short, go short. This is a perfect level to go short, but just be mindful when the market reaches around this demand area. USD Swiss franc, I just want to skip this one, but here I am. So again, another weekly indecision candle, daily time frame. The market opens right here, 7th of December. Indecision, little bearish, indecision, little bearish, and on Friday we actually have a bullish candle. So the level that I'm looking for a retest on this one is this bullish candle right here. So I can actually drop it like this. I can take the whole candle or something like this. You can even go on the 4-hourly time frame. You can see you have another little candle that kind of aligns with that area. So this is a potential retracement area that I'm looking for on USD Swiss franc, and I was expecting it actually this week, but the market just like fake up, down, up, kind of a lower high formation, but it's just not clear. Then we make our way down, strong push up, then we make our way down again, and right now a strong push up. So what is this market doing? I don't know. And if I just drop a quick analysis again, this is the current lower high, the major lower high. So the market is currently tapping into it, and if we're gonna reverse, the market is gonna pull back around those areas, because you can see we had a little bit of a lower high, like a minor structure that got broken. So right now the market can definitely pull back into some sort of areas. Like you can see how the market stopped for a little bit right here. This creates like a base. So right now this can be a perfect level for a pullback, and then we can start pushing to the upside and to potentially reverse. So I don't want to call any reversals because this market is perfectly bearish, but again, very similar to UCAD, I think this should be the low, and we should start seeing some bullishness or a potential bigger pullback on the daily time frame as well. So again, be careful. We are still bearish. We're just tapping, creating an equal lower high, and when I have an equal lower high, I always throw my attention to a potential head and shoulders. Now as you can see, we have a left shoulder, head, potential right shoulder that aligns with that hourly level that I pointed out. And if we even drop the FIP, this is a nice 61.8% extension retracement. So this actually turns out to be a very good setup, guys. So let's see how this one is going to develop. Looking for a pullback right here and a potential reversal. And if we break above this level, then we can definitely start taking longs into that higher time frame supply and demand. All right, here we are with the GBPs, as always, starting from GU. So the first thing that I want to point your attention to is this major high that was broken into the previous week already, and this week started with a massive push to the downside, which kind of let us know that this week is gonna be bearish. And then as you can see, 7th of December, we started with a massive flush, but then the market left this huge wick. Then we had a little bit of a consolidation, and the market finally tapped into that area right here, and then we had 2 days of bearishness, but it was pretty hard to catch a trade action on it. There was one right here, but the market just flushed to the downside, and then this one was a pure manipulation into the downside. So a few trades that I took on this one is gonna be pretty hard to find right now, so I have probably have to go. Yeah, here's the first one. So this is a trade that we took, and then I took another one very early in the week, which was from right here, and then I just rode this to the upside right here. I even shared this on my Instagram because it was a pretty nice entry, and then we actually went for the actual manipulation, then we exploded, and then there was another entry right here during New York, which I didn't take. But if I just show you right here what happens, so you have your beautiful consolidation right here. You have an area to be looking for buys. The market taps into that area. You can drop to the 5-minute, or even I drop to the lower time frames. And let me just see where my entry was. Yeah, it was on. Yeah, exactly. It was on that retest, and it was possibly a 1-minute trade. Yeah, exactly right here. So I perfectly got this level right here into this bearish candle. I got this move right here. My stop loss was around, I think, 7 pips. Yeah, 7 pips. And I took I looked on the 5-minute and I rode it into the highs right here into this bullish candle. So I took around 1 to 4. So probably my stop loss was a little bit tighter. I'm not sure, but it was a 1 to 4 trade. Well, let me see. Yeah, I probably left it to run a little bit more. And yeah, this was my first trade for this week, which was a pretty fast one. And then as you can see, the market reversed to the downside, created that push down, then we created that huge push up, then we went all the way down to tap that level again, and then we created all of that stuff right here. Then what do we have? Again, is we have the Asian consolidation. The market started with a move up to confuse us a little bit, but then it actually went to the downside to create the actual manipulation and break the lows, tap into supply and demand area. And there was another trade right here. And if I drop to the lower time frames, you're gonna see that there was an entry. Then what the market did during New York, created that consolidation, broke the highs of the consolidation, created the weekly high, and then we started to drop to the downside, providing us multiple opportunities right here on those little pullbacks, but we just again have to drop a time frame lower. And then we were looking for shorts for the days ahead, but the market did not create the setups that we want to see. So this right here on Asia, 23 o'clock, it just plummeted to the downside. Then it created this sort of stuff, and then the market opened, it just started to roll to the downside without creating any manipulation. And then on Friday, actually the same happened. The market just consolidated and just flushed to the downside, providing no setups at all. But I made some pretty good amount of I should not say pips because the pips are like too little, but let's say percentage on GU. So for the week ahead, I think this is going down right now. We can see that we are shifting the structure, and actually it's even starting to create some lower highs. The last lower high being right here. We broke below this structural level, and right now we are pulling back to create another lower high. So I am short biased on GU, where we are potentially reaching. So I haven't done my hard time frame analysis yet. This is something that I'm gonna do, but as you can see, we took out this first support and we took out this first support, and we actually tried to tap into this level right here, which we haven't tapped yet. And the lowest level that I will be looking for is this move right here, because there was a huge expansion right here, and this is potentially where orders were placed. So the market can come all the way down right here into 29,500 or maybe 1.30. But right now you can see that we're creating a lower high formation. So I'm just want to see how the market is going to respond to this one right here. GU is super tricky, so we can potentially manipulate into the highs and then start to reverse to the downside. So definitely I'm gonna leave it some room for Monday to play out to create some structure, but overall I am looking for sales because everything is starting to point to the downside. And if we don't have any change of structure, then I'm just gonna keep selling until, as I said, we have some sort of change of structure. So this is GU. It's not pretty clear. GJ, I'm not touching this pair right now. So yeah, we are bearish, but just the 4-hourly structure is just awful. Like, yeah, we have all of those wicks pushing to the highs, wicks, pushing to the lows. And if you drop to the hourly time frame, I just don't want to trade price action like this. Like manipulation up, then again it starts to consolidate right here, then we push into the lows, then again we consolidate right here. So GJ currently, I just don't like this pair. But if I drop a little analysis, I haven't taken any trades on this one, and I don't trade this pair. We have this lower high formation, strong push into the lows. So right now we can definitely see a little bit more of a bigger pullback around those areas. So what I will be looking for, guys, is for a simple lower high formation to be taking a short, and then a perfect target to be looking for is this. Let me see. Is this level, which hasn't been tapped yet, I believe. Let me just drop it. Yeah, so definitely, guys, 136,500 can be a target for GJ. So just wait for the pullback to happen and then take it into the lows. And then from then, with this unpredictable market, with all the Brexit stuff happening right now, because it's end of December and this is when we should see if we have a deal or no deal, be very, very careful trading GBPs. And then we have GA, of course, starting on the 7th of December with a consolidation, and then all of a sudden on the 10th of December, Asian session, it starts to explode to the downside. Like, it accumulated the volume right here, but it wasn't entirely clear if it wanted to push down. Like, come on, like, you have that push up, then we fulfill that push up, then we have that consolidation, then we have that huge wick right here. This was possibly some sort of manipulation, I don't know. And then all of a sudden the market just starts to plummet. And this was during Asia session, and by the time London opened, it just slowed down a little bit, and then it just expanded again, making it super hard to actually catch a short trade. So again, on this one, guys, super extended market just took out these major lows and actually rejected from them. So what I would expect on this one is a bigger pullback. So I'm not sure where and when the pullback is gonna occur, but definitely this is in need of a pullback. So I'm gonna be very careful in taking shorts on this one, because as I said, I expect a bigger pullback. So let's see, like, GA is one of the pairs that I don't trade, along with Euro GBP, which was kind of pretty nice. And if I leave my other analysis, because it played out to perfection as well, I have to refer back to my old analysis. But we broke above the highs, kind of introducing that we want to go long. Then it looked like it created this higher low formation and it wanted to tap, but then we had this pure manipulation to the downside to tap into that area. And then since then, we started to shift structure. As I keep telling you, wait for the structure to shift. Okay, you have that lower low, you have a push, you have a higher low, and then you have a higher high. So this is your confirmation that the market is shifting, and then we have that little pullback right here to take your long. But guess what? The time is Asian session again, and we started to push into the highs. And then on Friday, I actually coded something to my community. I was like, have a look at this consolidation. Like, this market is going up 100%. You just need to see a fake. And I actually was looking to see the fake a little bit lower into that area, but it just created a little push to the downside, and it strongly expanded to the upside, leaving me without a setup as well. But I don't like this pair at all. I'm just focused on GU mostly. So again, this one is perfectly bullish, but again, where is your structure? Currently the structure is way too messy. I would say this one. Now, because we have like this little bearish candle, this wick that kind of creates a higher low. And if you have difficulties, drop to the line chart, and actually you will see that the major structure is right here, this bearish candle. Right now we are in a pullback stage, so the market will currently be creating a higher low formation. So keep in mind, wait for rejections around that area, wait for some double bottoms, wait for some consolidations, and a 15-minute break retest, and then we can definitely start going to the upside. But again, keep in mind that the weekly time frame is rather choppy. We're currently tapping into the highs right here, so we can have some sort of a reaction. But yeah, so again guys, this is how I'm gonna wrap up the GBPs. I am keeping it super simple right now and really don't want to go into details because it's pretty hard right now to actually establish the bias with all the consolidation and with all the Brexit and with all the choppy price action. It's super hard, and as I keep telling you, be careful trading right now, reduce your risk, and like start going into a little bit of a holiday mood. So those are the GBPs. Let's have a look at gold and some indices. Just a very quick outlook on gold as well. As you can see, we had a weekly candle that pierced through and retested that level right here, but right now we are left with a little bit of a wick, which I think is gonna be filled. So on the daily time frame, we have that structure being created, which looks like a lower high formation. And where the market came to retest is this supply and demand area, which is this little indecision candle, and we immediately reacted from it. So right now, oh man, my levels were out again. So yeah, this is probably because I'm drawing in on the daily, but right now I am looking for a little bit of a pullback on gold, like a little bit of a pullback. You can see that we're currently in a little bit of a head and shoulders situation, but I think shorter term this market is going to go down because there is a lot of liquidity right now staying below all of those wicks. So if you have any pullback into the beginning of the week for a potential lower high formation around those areas, then take a short. I am definitely not sure if we're gonna go for 70.50. Definitely if we can go below that low right here, it will be perfect. But this as well is a potential target, this bearish candle right here. So personally, I will be targeting that level short term. And if this level is going to get broken, then we will get exposed to potentially 70.50, a little bit below. And then we can start seeing gold reverse as well. So if the DXY will start to rise into the beginning of the week, then we can definitely see gold pushing to the downside as well. So let's see how this one is going to open, thinking that short term we might have some sells on gold. And wrapping up the video with some indices starting from US30. As you can see, again, a little bit of a indecision weekly right here. And we had some spikes into the week. So let me see where it was. Yeah, I think, yeah, this spike right here, spiking to the lows, tapping into supply and demand area, reacting from it, breaking the highs actually, then it starts to pull back. And this one looked like a higher low formation, but then we broke below, retested, and went back down. So again, if you just open this chart, guys, what is the market doing? It is consolidating, but again, you zoom in. So I just want to keep some supply and demand areas so the market tapped into that level right here, and zooming in, you see that the market started to create bearish structure. So the last lower high is currently right here. Knowing that the market tapped into a supply and demand area, if I see a break of that structure level and a retest, then I will be looking for longs. Okay, so keep in mind how the market opens. Wait, of course, I have spotted that those instruments move during New York Open, and actually always there is some sort of manipulation because the market opens and you have gaps on most of the stocks, and this market reacts very violently as well. So this is my little analysis on US30. Overall, looking for longs, but again, this is really fundamentally based. And as you can see, NASDAQ also on the 9th of December started to plummet to the downside. And currently we're creating this sort of consolidation. And the weekly candle is overall bearish. Daily candle currently creating some sort of wicks. It is potentially retesting that daily supply and demand area. And we can see, oh man, it keeps removing. And we can see that we have a little bit of a double bottom, which is good to see. But currently, I just don't want to go long on this pair. I would personally love to see a little bit of a push to the upside, okay? Just to see the structure being broken. Why? Because currently, as I said on US30 as well, we are bearish. We have that broken structure, we have that pullback, lower high formation, EMA is acting as perfect resistance. So if you are to take longs, two choices. Either wait for the market to push down, to consolidate, break retest and continue, or next choice is to wait for a break of that structure, retest, then see the entry, and then we can continue to push higher. All right, so this is my outlook on NASDAQ as well. Make sure to wait for bullish signs. And then on S&P 500, this market is currently a little bit bearish, so I was looking to buy some stocks right here. I was looking for a little bit more of a push on the ETF that I'm currently looking for, but as you can see, it actually shifted structure on Friday and it resulted in a bullish day. So I haven't bought it yet, but I actually bought some other stocks which were pretty low. But right now, weekly, like daily, sorry, 2 wicks to the downside, kind of looks like it wants to create a higher low. On the 4-hourly time frame, we tapped into this. Let me just drop it right here. We tapped into this supply and demand area, perfectly reacted, but still, guys, we are in a sell market. So what I'm looking for on the hourly time frame is for the market to potentially pull back, to show me that it fails to break, and actually the highest probability will be a break above that structure, a potential retest, and then we can start heading higher. So overall, the indices are looking bullish. We just have to see some confirmation that the market wants to go up, and then we can start striking it to the upside. So this is for this week, guys. I really hope you got something valuable from the video. Like, the market is currently pretty choppy, so I'm not dropping many insights and many trades, but it is what it is. Again, make sure to trade very carefully. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for staying up until now, and see you on my next video. Have a relaxing weekend and a crushing week.